Hey leaders, we are planning an appreciation night for you, May 4th. Yep, may the 4th be with you. It is a Star Wars theme. We are all about appreciating you that night. We got brisket. TJ's going to smoke briskets for you, and we've got all the sides that go with that. Be sure you're looking for an invite in the mail. Yep, snail mail, you'll get something, and then there'll be an online registration. We really need for you to sign up so we make sure we got brisket for everyone, right? So look forward to it. Calendar, May 4th. It'll be that evening, and we appreciate you more than you know. Thanks.
Hey y'all, we are super excited to let you know that registration for Wilderness Escape opened yesterday. And actually it's been open since Sunday. You had access to it on Sunday from this sign, and you'll have access to registration through our entire time before VBS in this booth right outside the worship center. We're excited to tell you that the whole family is invited. Babies all the way up through the parents, grandparents. Please sign up your family to come, because we want y'all to experience the wilderness with the tribes of Israel. So come, sign up, and we're excited to see y'all.
Howdy, Connection Group leaders. I am coming to you from a pasture that, believe it or not, is less than a quarter of a mile from the church. I don't even know if you know the spots over here, but there's this little spot between my house and the church that frequently has cattle over here. I don't know if you know this about me, but I grew up in the country. I am the son and the grandson of a preacher, and so God certainly used that to help prepare me to be in ministry. But I don't mind telling you, man, I probably learned every bit as much about how to lead people and how to serve people and just how to work as I did just growing up around farms. I didn't grow up on a farm. Dad was a pastor, but I certainly learned every bit as much about leadership through my programs in FFA. I was dynamically involved in FFA, and then I raised hogs for 5 years. And I bring that up just to say that's what this lesson is all about, and how God prepares his people for acts of service. And so I hope you're excited about jumping back into the Old Testament. Quick reminder, remember this series that we're using, D6, it's a chronological telling of the scriptures, but it jumps back and forth from the Old Testament to the New Testament. And so we looked at the life of Christ for a little while. Now we're jumping back to the Old Testament. We finished with Joseph. Now we're jumping into Exodus and with Moses. So we'll do that for 6 more weeks, and then we're going to jump back in the New Testament. So just so you understand kind of the methodology, what's going on. Also, quick reminder, men, come to the Shift Conference on Friday night. I promise it will be an encouragement to you. Again, talking about preparation. This is one of the things that God can use to prepare you for leadership in our church. But bring your boys as well, because they're going to learn some stuff on how to be prepared. So again, we're in Exodus, really chapters 2 and chapter 3. Let me just say right out the gate, guys, do not try to teach this verse by verse. You're not going to be able to do it, not in the time frame that we had set aside. I'm not even going to try to do it, and I prefer to teach verse by verse. I really do. You're going to have to tell the story and reference verses here and there. And I believe it or not, that's not a bad thing, because one of the skills that we're going to be able to display to our classes is how to tell the story from the scriptures, because chances are really good when they're out and about at work and they're discussing the scripture with people, they're not necessarily going to have a Bible in hand that they can show somebody verse by verse how a story goes, but they can tell the story. And so display that ability to your class. This is how you tell the story, in this case, of Moses and how God prepared him. I like this couple of chapters for all sorts of reasons. I'm going to give you a couple of high points that I think are worth bringing up. For starters, I think one of the great miracles of the Bible happens in this passage. How else can you explain them being able to hide a brand new newborn baby for 3 months and nobody noticing? That truly is a miracle. I say that somewhat in jest, because I know how much noise brand new babies make. Especially when you do them 2 at a time, like me and my wife did. But truthfully, God did an incredible work here for this first 3 months. Every part of Moses' life, God was either preparing Moses, or in that case, I really think he was preparing Aaron for ministry too. Because remember, Moses and Aaron are kind of a package deal. They do this thing together. So God's doing a good work. Then he goes, of course, he puts him in the ark. I hope you catch that part of the lesson, that the basket that Moses put in was an ark for Moses. That really is pretty neat. And then God does this miracle where Moses' parents do the right thing. They refuse to kill the newborn baby, and God blesses that. And so I do think, guys, we can always say God blesses obedience. We need to carefully say that sometimes God tangibly blesses obedience, because sometimes we're obedient and it doesn't end well for us. John the Baptist is a perfect example of that. But we got to know that, man. Like, sometimes God blesses obedience tangibly, like He did in Moses' case, and other times not. But that's worth pointing out. But then the story goes on. You kind of see, for starter. Oh, don't miss this too. Please, in your studies, read Acts chapter 7, at least like verses 20 through probably 40. When Stephen is giving his sermon, he talks a lot about Moses' life, and he gives us some of the in-between details that Exodus doesn't give. Like specifically, he says, hey, Moses had a fabulous education, and he knew how to speak. And then as we see Moses' life play out, we see God built a heroic heart in Moses. That's why we see him jump up to try to rescue the guy that was been beaten. That's why we see him jump up to try to rescue the woman that would end up becoming his wife. Like, God prepared this heroic heart in Moses, and He gave him all this education. He knew how to speak. He knew how to do a lot of things. And then God sent him into the wilderness for 40 years to teach him how to be a shepherd, which was going to be a fantastic set of tools for him to use as he was leading probably what was 2.25 million people across a desert wasteland. And he would have known that region very, very well because of that 40 years that he spent out there. Here, guys, the big idea of this lesson really is this. God is preparing us constantly, not for greatness. And I'm saying that partially to my student leaders, because we have a whole lot of students and adults too. Like they feel like they're destined for greatness, feel like they're prepared for greatness. They want great things. And I don't know that that's a bad thing. But God ultimately wants to prepare us for service. Mostly service towards Him, but also service towards other people. And that's also how we serve God. And the things He's doing in our lives right now is preparing us for service in some other area of life. We got to see that. That's what He was doing in Moses' life, certainly. And then the last thing, man, the burning bush scene, that passage always makes me cry. And partially because I do watch The Prince of Egypt with my kids on a pretty regular basis. If you've never seen that scene from the cartoon version of Moses' story, The Prince of Egypt, which is actually really good, when God is speaking to Moses and God declares, I am that I am. Man, it is so sweet, and it just brings me to tears. You need to know this. I am that I am. I am that I am. It literally means I am the one that is. What does that mean? Because He says specifically, hey, when you stand before Pharaoh, you tell Pharaoh, when he asks who sent you, you tell him, I am sent you. Like, what does that mean? That's such nonsense. And I realize part of this is an English translation issue. Okay, I am the one that is. Is what? God is our everything. He is our help. He is our Redeemer. He is our rescuer. Whenever Moses stood before Pharaoh and Pharaoh said, who is this God that's going to rescue you? I truly envision in my head when Moses said, I am is the one that sent me. The Lord stood up on His throne. Who is going to rescue you? I am. And this is the God that we serve. Guys, I love you. I can't wait to hang out with you on Sunday. Have a great weekend. Men, come to Shift with us, and we'll see you soon.